Welcome to Abstract Audio, the podcast presenting life as an abstract art form. The show that encourages you to perceive beyond the tangible, to extract the infinite from the finite, to see with the mind what you cannot physically see with the eyes. Oh, it's an emancipation. It's an exploration into areas usually overlooked. Explore with me on today's episode. What's up, good people? We're back at it again with another 15 to 20 minutes of raw, uncut, thought-provoking verbal content. That's right, I'm your host, Amber Janae. This is Abstract Audio, and we're coming straight at you with our 11th episode of the season. It's pretty fitting, actually, because if you own a calendar, you know that this week, Tuesday, I think, was 7/11, also known as Pre-Slurpee Day. What are the odds, right? Anyway, I hope you all were lucky enough to grab a delicious frozen cup of high fructose corn syrup and red dye number 40. I know I was. I mean, point me to free anything and I'm there. But if you missed out, hey, better luck next year. Speaking of luck, though, what do you say we delve a little deeper into it today? Do you guys believe in it? And if so, how big or small of a role do you think it plays in our society today? I don't know what time of day you're listening to this. You know, it could very well be too early in the morning to question humanity's belief systems. Or maybe it's midday for you, but you really did miss your Slurpee earlier this week and that got you in a funk. Or maybe you're just a little grumpy because you got some 7-Eleven coffee today instead, but it was trash, as most gas station coffee usually is. And if that's the case, I do apologize for your misfortune. But you know, this last week was also Lucky 7772. You know, July 7th, then you add up the numbers in 2023 and you get 7 again. So people were saying it was a sacred day of peace and love, which I take with a grain of salt because the Gregorian calendar is all off anyway. Regardless, last week we were talking about free will, fate, and destiny, so luck was a natural next choice for a topic. Mainly because, to me, if you believe in luck, you can't really believe in fate. And if you tuned in last episode, you know I am a person who believes everything happens for a reason. I mean, look at it like this. The actual definition of luck is the force that causes things, especially good things, to happen to you by chance and not as a result of your own efforts or abilities. Chance really being the key word there. So if you feel like you just happen upon something, such as a favorable outcome by luck of the draw, by chance, you wouldn't really subscribe to the idea that you were fated or destined to come into it by an outside power or your own. Some would say, I got lucky, because I was destined, say, to have that job, or I'm so lucky I was fated to win the lottery. But in reality, they're two totally different concepts. It's random occurrence versus predetermined occurrence at the end of the day. You simply can't be lucky if it was ultimately planned to go that way, because it's just not random, you feel me? To me, it's not luck, it's more so destiny or fate. And while both phenomenons occur in a space that's completely outside of our own control, it's contradictory to think they can coexist. When people think of luck, right, so often they get this picture in their heads of like the little green leprechaun, the pot of gold, the rainbow. People think luck and think fantasy because for so many, that's all it is. So many of us go through life struggling, barely scraping by, making our own way. It just seems the idea of luck can often downplay the hard work it took for many of us to get where we are. And to me, that just doesn't seem fair. From where I'm standing, it makes more sense to attribute positive things that happen in our lives to either our own hard work and determination or a higher power with a divine plan, whichever one you choose to subscribe to. But randomized happenstance? Nah, bruh. And even negative outcomes aren't really exempt. The idea of bad luck falls under the same descriptive categories. And while there is truly no good or bad, as we know, there is a certain benefit in believing there is. Like, have you ever heard the phrase, luck is where preparation meets opportunity? Well, if you haven't, it's a well-known quote attributed to the Roman philosopher Seneca. I've always taken a particular interest in that statement. Not just because it attempts to explain such a nuanced topic, but because it's also a call to action. You see, things, whether they're good or bad, don't happen by chance. We attract what we want, manifesting our individual realities, and they come to be if it's in accordance with a predetermined end. Basically, we have to work hard for what we want, not just hope to luck up. But you may ask yourself, well, Amber, I work hard. I prepare. I meditate. Why haven't my dreams become a reality? If luck is a fallacy, how do some people stumble into wealth and riches and power, etc., while I haven't? Simple. They don't. Those things are meant for them. That's their path, their story. Not everyone's life is meant for the same outcomes or experiences. And just thinking or feeling like you're unlucky because their version of a successful life looks different than what you're experiencing or will experience is keeping you in a place where you attract that negative energy, making it even more difficult to accomplish what actually is destined for you. However, I do find it interesting that when you ask successful people what their secret is, they never say dumb luck, right? But they do, however, all have a few things in common. One of those, of course, being hard work, as we just mentioned. But if you look a little closer, you start to notice that these people were openly and readily available to new opportunities when they arose. In the right place at the right time, so to speak. Not because of luck. It wasn't a coincidence that they were there, but rather because they allowed themselves to be placed there. They literally and figuratively put themselves out there. They're usually extroverted, talkative, Open people tend to end up in the quote-unquote luckiest situations because they make themselves aware of opportunities. They know how to spot them, even. Like men, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. Women, if you go looking through your man's phone, you're going to find something. I don't want to start no mess here, but anyway, people who navigate life feeling like they're lucky, they'll always be the ones, who have the wild stories about seemingly chance encounters or the ones who win competitions, etc. Because they see opportunities and they jump on them. That doesn't make them lucky, though. That makes them receptive and aware. Cultivating luckiness, much like creating anything else, lies in creating ideal conditions for it to occur. And there's so much art, beauty, and power in that creation. Now, even in recognizing and knowing all this, I completely understand that some of us may be more hesitant to renounce or let go of the idea of superstitions such as luck entirely. Yeah, I know we all have our things. Guys, you might have a pair of lucky socks you wear to go hooping. Ladies, you might still pick up shiny pennies on the street. Shit, I know I do. Like I said, anything free is right up my alley. Don't matter if I find that shit in an actual alley. I'm going. And these things, they make us feel good, right? And it should. It's been around for centuries, and it's deeply ingrained in our history as a people. But the belief in luck can be traced back to ancient civilizations such as the Mesopotamians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans. These cultures had deities and symbols associated with fortune, fate, and chance. They often performed rituals, made offerings, and sought divine favor to improve their luck. Over time, many cultures adopted the concept and developed superstitions and folklore related to it. These beliefs often revolved around specific objects or actions that were believed to bring good or bad luck. For example, today we still cross our fingers or go searching for four-leaf clovers. or avoid walking under ladders or opening umbrellas and doors. Sure, a lot of these things sound like harmless fun, but depending on who you're talking to, some people take it very seriously. I just think it's so funny. Every once in a while, you'll run into someone who do not play that shit at all. No games. It's a very polarizing idea when you think about it. And being a Black woman initially raised in a Baptist church and now identifying as an agnostic, I do feel I have a particularly unique standpoint on this. I won't go too much into how the white man took Black symbols of prosperity and luck and tried to twist the narrative to something negative to support their agenda. But let's just say religions and philosophical systems alike have been known to shape the concept of luck to try to make sense of the unknown. In many religious traditions, such as Buddhism or Hinduism, the idea of karma and its influence on one's fate and luck is frequently emphasized. Philosophers, including ancient Greek and Chinese thinkers, contemplated the role of fortune and chance in human affairs very often. And nowadays, many of us on our own spiritual journeys, or even just those of us interested in the supernatural, are familiar with divination practices, such as reading omens, consulting oracles, or using tarot cards, etc. Hell, I just went and had a palm reading literally last week on 7/7. No, I'm kidding. I did go though, but these things have been prevalent throughout human history. So don't feel bad for wanting to hold on to the idea of luck, because a lot of this isn't new. These practices were and still are used to seek insight into future events and understand the influences of luck and fate. To be honest, even though I don't personally subscribe to the idea, believing in luck doesn't make you childish or stupid. In fact, it can provide people with a sense of hope, optimism, and encourage positive thinking, gratitude. It can serve as a source of motivation and encouragement during tough times. That's what it's all about, right? Keeping hope alive? I mean, that's why my auntie keep playing her lotto numbers anyway. It's no secret that life is full of uncertainties, and believing in luck can help individuals cope with the unknown aspects of it. It can provide a sense of comfort and reassurance that even in unpredictable situations, there's the possibility of a positive outcome. But my point is that maybe we as a people shouldn't be so afraid of misfortune or the unknown. We should embrace it. That's what luck is to me anyway. Fearlessness, going for it, taking a chance, trial and error, learning what works for us and what doesn't. That's why the so-called unluckier parts of life are just as important as the lucky ones. They both need to exist to deliver us to our final destination. No pun intended. That's probably not a series of movies you should watch to be swayed in support of the good side of fate, by the way. But bottom line, I honestly think one of the biggest flaws of the human condition is the tendency to look outside ourselves for a leg up or an advantage, all while trying to figure out what the next person is doing to get theirs, right? They have all this. They must be lucky, right? Well, guess what? There's no secret weapon they have. No shortcuts to success. And comparison is the thief of joy. So fuck the next person. Go make your own version of luck. Bet on yourself. And while you're at it, go check us out online at theabstractaudioshow.com. Lucky for you, there's plenty of great content available there. And lucky for me, I'll be back to deliver some more to you guys real soon. But until then, do me a favor and always appreciate the abstract in your life.